Great, so you're here for the chili. Perfect. So this is a chili recipe that is not the die-hard aficionado chili, as the saying goes, I believe. If your chili has beans, you don't know chili. Or you don't know beans about chili, I think it is. So this is a more modern tradition. It does have beans in it. But this is my recipe that I developed about for the last 10 years, all from no prepackaged ingredients at all. And this is a Halloween recipe. It became a tradition along with cornbread, but that's not going to be in this video, the cornbread. So check it out. It's not going to be that hard. It's not going to be too difficult, but it's my recipe. It doesn't have any green peppers in it because my wife can't handle green peppers. But that's okay, you can add green peppers to yours. This chili recipe is not necessarily anything that you need to follow to a T unless you are new to making chili, and then you could just expand on it from there. If you're an experienced cook, you might just say, I'm gonna leave this out, I'm gonna take that in, I'm gonna add more of this or add less of this, like most of us do. So take from it what you want, but somebody asked me how I do my chili. I said, all right, I'll make a video. Not too complicated, let's go. So let's start with the meat. 2 pounds of ground chuck, basically 80-20. And then a pound of mild Italian sausage. We don't want this too hot. Then probably an onion and a half diced up, followed by minced squeezed garlic, tomato puree, 2 cans of stewed tomatoes, and then liquid smoke. And then we're gonna have 3 cans of Hunt's fire roasted diced tomatoes. You're gonna see some black specks in the chili. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just from the char. Then we have refried beans, which might be a surprise ingredient to some people. 2 cans of red beans, 1 can of dark red kidney beans, 1 can of light red kidney beans. Then hot sauce, lime, Worcestershire sauce, and Better Than Beef Bullion paste. Then for our spices, we have actually 4 full tablespoons of chili powder, 2 full tablespoons of cumin, 2 full tablespoons of McCormick's Montreal steak seasoning, and then we have a tablespoon of oregano as well, and then 2 tablespoons of seasoned salt. I have my own, you can use your own. And that's it, that's all for the dry seasoning. We'll set that aside while we cut the onion, and we'll get the meat on pretty soon. I'm not sure how everybody else cuts onions, but this is the way I do it. I'm sure a lot of people do it this way, but this minces them up pretty good. And if your knife is really sharp, you're not going to have too much crying going on. Sounds like a myth, but it's actually true. This is nice comfort food. Like I said, Halloween tradition, but it's nice and hot. It's spicy, but it's also temperature-wise hot. And in Michigan, you can get some pretty cold Halloween nights. This one turned out to be pretty cold and very rainy. And heading out on a belly full of chili can only help things out. In the meantime, I have a 10-inch large skillet warming up, heating up on the stove with some oil in it, and we're going to get that meat on there. You're going to want your skillet between medium and high. You just want to slowly brown this meat. Those onions are going to go in when the meat is about halfway done. You don't want to overcook the onions. They're going to be stewing in that chili and the water and the tomato and all the other ingredients. They're going to be stewing in there for quite a while. We don't want to cook them up to nothing. So we'll let the meat brown first. In addition, I do not put my seasonings in with the meat. I put my seasonings in the actual chili pot. I know some people like to put it in with the meat, like they're making tacos, but I do not do that. All right, well, the meat's pretty well getting there, so I'm gonna put in the onions. And while this is finishing up, this can take about 15 minutes. We're gonna open all these cans. Some of them have the pop top like this, but a lot of them take the can opener. Perfect time to do this while the meat is browning. So I'm gonna rinse all my beans. Gonna strain them, clean them up, get them ready. And this is what a Halloween day in 2019 looks like in Michigan. So let's get these ingredients from the skillet into the pot that the chili will be made in. And make sure you, if you haven't made chili before, make sure you get a good gauged pot. You don't want a thin one, because when you try to bring the ingredients to a boil, it will scorch and burn the stuff on the bottom of the pan. This is a thick one, and once that liquid gets in there, it's going to be fine. So as you can see, I've got most of the tomato in there, but let's finish that up. Here goes some more stewed tomatoes, and then I'll complete the rest of the diced fire roasted tomatoes. There's the black specks that I was referring to. It just adds another dimension of flavor to have that char in there. There's nothing burnt there. Then 2 cans of water, big cans, two big cans of water. Then the beans. Then we're going to add the can of refried beans, and then we're going to do the spices that are sitting over there on the counter that we made earlier. Mix it all together, and then there you have it. That's my chili. I want to bring it to a boil for 10 minutes and then let it simmer for 1.5 hours to 2 hours. While it's coming up, we're going to add this in its own bowl. A teaspoon of beef bouillon, Better Than Beef Bullion. 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce, I should say. 1 tablespoon of hot sauce. Believe it or not, this will be spicy enough. Don't add any more. You can add more later. People are surprised how spicy that is. Then 4 tablespoons of lime juice. No, your chili will not taste citrusy whatsoever. That just brightens it. Just brightens the pot. Adds another dimension of flavor. And then the liquid smoke. After this 3 tablespoons of garlic here, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of liquid smoke. There's nothing wrong with liquid smoke. It's not fake. It's actually completely real. If you can't make chili out on the grill, there's nothing wrong with liquid smoke. So we're going to mix everything in this bowl together and then put it in this pot here. And to recap, we're going to let it boil, come to a boil for 10 minutes. Turn it down to low and let it simmer for up to 2 hours, stirring occasionally. Hope you guys liked it. Let's see how Jessica likes it. Jesse, you going to put some cheese in that chili?
Yeah. I want my cornbread in it too.
Oh, you don't have to put cheese on it if you don't want.
No, I was going to. That's why I cut it out.
What are you going to be tonight?
A unicorn.
A unicorn.
Not a witch, Aunt Shelley. Gonna mix it up a little more.
You like the mozzarella in there?
Mm-hmm.
And the cornbread that we did not film making?
I like it, yes.
Is it too spicy or anything? Too salty?
Not for me personally. I like it a lot. Very, very good.
All right.